Hey, it's Friday, which means it's time to deploy. We're doing this live. So this was something we thought we would try a little bit. I'm joined by the whole gang is here, Matt, Jim, and of course Charlotte. How's everyone doing? How was everyone's week? Things are obviously very busy. Charlotte, let's start with you. What are you up to?
This week, I feel like I've talked about the AI Pulse report a lot, but this week it's
Yeah.
actually happening. We're doing all the stuff for it, so it should be coming out right after RKO, which is really exciting. Yeah, so just lots of prep for that. A few blogs, social posts, yeah, all the things that come along with that. Yeah, very
What is
busy.
RKO? I'm not familiar with this term. Trying to see the conversation. Sorry, Charlotte. RKO is revenue kickoff. Yes, so
It's
that's what
revenue
Charlotte was
kickoff. Yeah.
referring. Yes, that's right. Jim, how are things with you? How are things
Yeah,
down
really
in Melbourne?
great. Yeah, well, nice weather. We've been a few weeks since I've been on. Team's been super busy. We're getting ready to sort of launch our resilient and scalable execution pipeline for deployments out to self-host customers. So
Very
thinking
nice.
about what that means, talking to customers about how they can take advantage of it, and just playing with some really great AI tools as well, which I think maybe we'll talk about later.
Yeah, so does that mean I can
Yeah,
just go by the if I'm on hosting this on-prem, I can just walk by the server, unplug it, and then plug it back in, and then it just
that's right.
resumes where it was?
That's
Nice.
right. That's right. And even you'll probably even be able to have fun new ways to scale your deployments too. So if you've got to do a whole bunch of deployments, you might have some better options on how to do that as well. So
Awesome.
working all the details right now, but we'll be expecting to be talking about that with customers real soon.
Cool beans. And Matt, how about you? How are things?
Yeah, things are good. Busy time, which is fun. Lots of recording this week. So, recorded an episode of Inside Platform Engineering bright and early this morning, my time. That'll be edited and out next week. We've got Exploring Octopus video series kicking off again. And John, you, of course, helped me out with that one to drop next week. I won't tease anymore. People can wait to see what that one is. And
Yes.
yeah, just lots of different content. I've also been getting hands-on technology, which is scary, but it's kind of cool because we're wanting to revamp the way that we internally deploy some of what we call our microsites. So we've got about 4 or 5 different sites within the
Okay.
marketing team for things like docs and a DevOps site and a few other things. And uh, it's the process is working fine, but we want to change some of the underlying architecture, but we want to start to use some of the new capabilities in Octopus Deploy, like Platform Hub, process templates, policies, and ephemeral environments for that. So especially when folks come along and submit a new blog post, we can spin up a new ephemeral environment. They can see it live, make sure their images and everything
Nice.
is working, and then destroy it. So yeah, that's been keeping me busy as well, which is cool.
Oh, awesome stuff. Well, now, this is the show Deploy on Friday. Now, some of you might be wondering, wait a minute, this is Thursday in Australia or Wednesday back in the States. Like, what's going on here? I'm kind of like Columbo trying to figure things out. The reality is that we're all off to Europe on Saturday, so we got to get this show out, and so we decided just to do it a day early. So that's the reason why. But with that, for those of you who have never seen this show before, this is basically a weekly recap of the latest news around Octopus Deploy. We talk about a bunch of different things, including latest blog posts, etc. Which brings us obviously to the latest series of blogs that we have. So this one is by Carrie. This is called SCIM for Entra ID. SCIM is, of course, the system for cross-domain identity management. It's basically, you have all these different systems in place, and it's always hard to manage and maintain all of these. And so SCIM provides a mechanism by which you can actually define your providers, and then those are the systems you use. And then as part of that, the providers themselves will allow you to manage credentials and profiles and stuff. So this is SCIM for Entra ID support is something that we're adding in 2026.1. And so what this means is basically you'll be able to use Entra ID as your provider for Octopus, and Octopus you'll be able to find access for users via that capability. So you can also let Octopus customers configure Entra ID to manage the CRUD operations of Octopus user accounts, etc. So that's one of many identity providers out there, but this is a new feature that we have available. And yeah, this is a blog post you can check out. If you want to read more about this, you can find it all up at our blogs, which is at octopus.com/blogs. Cool beans. Now, you may have caught this last week. Matt Casperson, who's one of the authors of the AI Assistant and has been working on a lot of stuff. I believe his nickname is the Commander Spock of Octopus Deploy. He's intelligent, exceeds all of us. He's got this blog series called Octopus Easy Mode where he highlights some of the things that you can do very quickly with the AI assistant and other tools. And so this one is with build information. And so here, this is basically what these blogs are, basically how you can get about the outcome through the AI assistant. And so he's doing this for build information. So first and foremost, we create the project. The project is done via a prompt, which you can just copy and paste here. A lot of these you'll find up on our cookbook as well. But basically what we're doing is we're creating a script project called this, and then we're adding a Maven feed for our various packages, which are located here. And then we add a package reference in the script step for this. We then download the CLI, we authenticate it against our instance, and then we save this JSON to our build.info.json. And then once that's done, we can start utilizing the CLI to push build information. So if you haven't seen this before, build information is basically all the things that go into creating a package via the commits. So the build information is all that stuff that you can roll up into release notes, etc. And so that's a capability that we have available in the CLI. But once this is all exposed and integrated, you can then broadcast it, say, to Jira, for example, if you wanted to. And so this blog post here is talking about how all of that is done. And it's kind of like a recipe, if you will, which he's calling his Octopus Easy Mode series. So there you go.
Yeah, awesome. And some of that build information is really useful in different ways. And that's some of the data from that build information is what we inject into our policy engine now. So with policies in Platform Hub, you can now look at some of that build information from the artifact that you're using and then have policies around that to make different decisions on whether you want to allow a deployment to proceed or not based on some of that information that's coming through. So yeah, it's really cool.
Very nice. We also have this one, which is for retries. So if you're looking at integrating with now, retries are a very important capability because, as we all know, we don't manage networks. There's a lot of stuff that you hit in between your target and what you're running in terms of Octopus, and we can't control every node or every vertex that you hit along the way. And so retries are a necessary evil in some cases because you have to obviously repeat similar steps over and over again until it gets right, and that can be due to network latency, etc. So in this example here, we're enabling retries on the script step. Now you may notice that on most steps, not all, but most steps, they do have this capability. So they have a retry for things like timeouts, etc., for errors, etc. So you can do this. And so Matt's blog post talks about how you can do that through the AI assistant. So that's another one that's there. Very nice. Matt, you were recently busy. You have a series of videos that are now available for policies. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so Ships and I did a webinar last month on policies in Platform Hub, and we ended up with 4 or 5 different demonstrations on use cases for policies. And the way that we ended up filming it in the webinar, we were able to break these up into specific videos. And thanks to Rykar internally, one of our new members on the team in a technical product marketing role, he went through and chopped it all up and made us look good. So these are just showcasing the different scenarios. We went through ones where you might want to enforce using a process template by a policy. We had a look at enforcing security scans through the use of policies as well, and a few different use cases. So policies are a pretty low hanging fruit in terms of getting started, because in your organization, you probably have at least one thing, if not many things in terms of policies that you need to adhere to. And this new capability in Octopus Deploy allows you to write that in Rego and then start enforcing it across your environment. And you can get started by having warn actions by default instead of actually blocking deployment. So as you start to roll these out and get your users comfortable with the policies that they need to adhere to, you can just warn them about that and put all sorts of description and information in there to help teams align with the policies that you're putting in place. So, yeah.
So I think, Jim, we need some Rego statements for reliable deployments, maybe. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You need to by policy. You have to stay up 99.999. So, or maybe we get Rego for reports there, Charlotte.
Yeah.
So you get policy enforcement for documents and reports. So there you go. Awesome. So if you want to check these out, you can go visit our YouTube channel, which is up here, /Octopus Deploy. You'll find a series of 4 of them listed, along with all the other videos that we have up on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, as the kids say. That's definitely something worth your time. We do publish all the time. We publish all our live content, etc., all our videos. We're doing this live. This is where it gets meta. There's Deploy on Friday right there. So yeah, good stuff. So I won't bring up the stream of us talking because it's going to get very meta. So
That's when you break the internet. Yeah.
that's right. We have a new edition of Argo Unpacked. If you haven't been subscribed to this show, why not? You should subscribe. We've actually seen a huge hockey stick in popularity of this show. Episode 21 is currently available. This is exploring What the Diff. This is hosted by Dan and Revital, and they had Gerald and Andrew on here talking about diff discussions, etc. And so you can check out all this and more. Go to argounpacked.com to subscribe to the RSS if you want. You can pull it down as a feed, or you can obviously utilize it through Spotify and other means, etc. So definitely something worth checking out as well. Recently, I did a video on there was a Reddit thread that I thought was interesting, and it was basically on the topic of what tools do you find useful in the context AI tools, and are you finding AI useful in the context of DevOps work? And so I did a little video here on discussing some of the things that people are using it for. It was mostly for what you guys expect. So I'm generating things like Terraform files, config scripts, YAML. I'm doing this for sanity checks. I'm doing this for some people are creating their own TUIs or terminal user interfaces, and they're constructing their own workflows for this sort of stuff. How do you guys use AI? Like, I know, on the coding side, Jim, you guys are using Claude, I would assume, a lot. Is that true?
Yep. Claude's the one that's sort of managing to beat out most of the other competitors in our org at the moment. I think there's a few people using Cursor and stuff like that, but yeah, mainly Claude. Yeah.
Charlotte, are you using AI at all?
Yeah, I use Claude as well when I do my data analysis, which is really good. But I've seen the video and someone posted that they use it for emails, and I have to say I use it for emails as well.
I knew it. I knew your emails were going to be like that. I'm kidding. I can't tell. Yeah. I actually, you can tell when it's ChatGPT because it's like they always use the expression "here's the thing." Everyone thought it was the ellipse that caught people out, or the what was it? Also the extended hyphen. I can't remember what that's called.
Yeah,
that was M dash. Thank you. That was a total giveaway. But now it's here's the thing, because when people read the scripts from ChatGPT, you can totally tell that's the thing. So
you definitely can.
I tried to get it the other day to create a little thing to sound like me, giving it a whole bunch of samples of my writing. It worked. It helped a bit.
Yep.
Okay.
That's good.
Matt, are you using it all?
Yeah, I do. I sometimes forget that it's there, and then I'll try and hack my way through something, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I'll pop open Claude as well. And for me, it's definitely sort of that amplifier. One habit that I have started this year is using the voice dictation when sort of inputting and just ideating things, because I find that by talking, I'm a lot faster than typing naturally. And I can also give it more context because I ramble when I talk, but usually it's helpful in that situation because I start to ramble about the thing that I want it to help me with. So, whereas when I'm typing it out, I find I probably don't give it enough context. And then you've sort of got to, reiterate over the next few messages. So the voice dictation is something that I'm leaning on a bit more heavily these days, which is probably weird for the family when they walk past and I'm just talking at my computer, but hey. That's where we're at.
I go into hardware stores and I talk to the AI about what screw I should use. So I'm not joking. People think I'm talking to friends. I'm like, no, I'm talking to an AI. Anyways, if you want to check out the video, I put it up on my LinkedIn. It's kind of a summary of what's what's being said. I did summarize the some of the top highlights. So AI is most useful when it has direct access to real context. So basically, dumping your logs into a chat context window is really useful, and so that was one thing that a lot of people found was useful. Incident response, high value AI use case. AI is a faster search. Someone called it Super Google, which I thought was fun. Hallucinations are tolerated, but you have trust but verify, using the old statement. AI struggles to keep with deep architecture. Custom workflow embedded AI beats generic AI feature, and then strong skepticism towards autonomy and hype, which is kind of counterintuitive to what's happening right now around things like Open Malt and things like that, or Open Claw, excuse me. So anyways, but I know that Jim, you're using it for other means, and you're looking into skills use, and there was this interesting sort of repo that you found called Superpowers. What's this all about?
Yeah, so a lot of the work I do is that deep architectural work and like undocumented domain stuff, right? So that's, sometimes these tools really can fall down in that area, and you sort of it'll tell you, I understand what's going on. We can go and make this big architectural change. Let's go. And then 6 hours later, it's just drawing pictures of cats.
Yes.
So
it's eaten all your tokens, and your $50 allocation is gone.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been mucking around trying to create different sub-agents for planning and exploration and implementing and giving them all different sets of MCP tools and stuff. And it just would never quite work because I'd do something wrong. Like I wouldn't give the sub-agent that was supposed to implement features I'd accidentally remove its permission to write to files. And so it would pretend it's made all these changes and tell the main conversation all these changes were made, and then there were no changes made, and it would all just sort of fall in a heap. But this thing here, Superpowers, I heard about it on a podcast, and I've been using it all week, and it's been amazing. It's a set of skills and sub-agents that do work together really well to do this kind of work. And since then, I've been able to explore pieces of our code base that we don't have documentation for and start to create documentation for it, refactor really highly dependent transaction scripts into, separating IO and logic and all of this sort of stuff. And yeah, it's all coming together really well. So this is the first time that I've really sort of found that the flywheel is increasing my, it's not slowing down as it encounters complexity.
Yeah, whenever I hear about skills, I think of that scene out of Taken. I don't know who you are. I don't have a lot of money. What I do have is a particular set of skills. AI agent skills. I'm kidding. Sorry,
that's right.
Matt, I interrupted you.
even with Liam Neeson in his 60s, you still wouldn't mess with him, right? So yeah.
No. Awesome
That's
stuff.
That looks really cool, and I'm only seeing this for the first time right now, and it looks like it's got a good README there. But what's the interface for it like, Jim? Like, is this something that I download and install on my machine, or is it a or,
So there's the install instructions there. So super simple to to get going. And what it actually does is it registers a pre-hook in Claude. So as soon as Claude starts, it tells itself about these plugins and that it should always use them. So that sort of prompts the start of every session. And then, I often find myself just writing whatever I would normally write and then just say, use your superpowers, which is kind of a fun thing to say anyway. So,
yes. Even better if you're doing voice dictation into the prompt, right, as well. So,
yeah, definitely interesting. Definitely an interesting space right now. Lots of experimentation going on right now, which is great to see. So, fantastic stuff. All right. Well, it's time for Support on Friday. All right, Matt, this was one that you had caught. Let me bump up the res here so folks can see it at home. This was what we do with Support on Friday is we basically go through our advice channel, which is our Slack. You can join our Slack through our community. If you go to octopus.com/community, you can join there. This is a question that was posted on the advice channel from Corey. He says, I'm running into some confusion about concurrency. I have a runbook that executes tests on a worker. The worker pool has 5 workers available. I've tried setting this mutex as well as this config value max parallelism, although I think the first is primarily for deployments, not runbooks. I'd expect to see up to 5 of these runbook executions happening concurrently. Each run is a single step, but in reality, I get one run and the rest queue up behind it. Am I missing something enable these to happen simultaneously? They're all executing against the same environment. Not sure if there's something else managing that behavior. And then Mark jumped in that said, so the repo would be 1 runbook execution, 5 steps, each set to run in the same worker pool. What are you finding? Blah, blah, blah. Almost correct. It's 1 runbook, 2 steps. Worker pool has 5 workers. And then Mark goes on to ask some more questions, asking, are you looking at wanting to run multiple runbooks, etc.? There's encouragement to that. Anyway, sorry, Matt, you said you wanted to talk a little bit about this.
Oh, that's all good. No, because I think it's probably, I can see where Cora is coming from. I think it's fair to assume if you've got 5 available workers in a pool and then you kick off something that you want to run 5 times, that they would sort of pick up and run in concurrently, sort of in parallel there. But there's probably some good reasons as to why that's not the default, and especially with Octopus as you start to get into tenanted deployments and stuff, that's where you do want potentially some parallelism, but also there are times where you don't want that. So it is that flag, or sorry, that variable that Mark has highlighted, the Octopus task concurrency tag, is a good one to be aware of to change the behavior, but you do want to be pretty specific about it. And this is a great use case for doing it. And that concurrency tag is, as Mark says here, you need to set that to something unique per run. So, putting in the UTC date is going to help with
something like that, or like a GUID or something. I think it's restricted a little bit, but something unique, Yep.
And it looks like, that was it. And I love this advice channel because there's a lot of stuff that pops up in here, and I try and help. I do try and help out when I can, but by the time I get to this, someone from our team around the world has already jumped in from a different time zone and nailed it, like Mark has here. Which is actually cool because I didn't know about this one myself, so I would have had to dig around and find it. But it does also lead on to the fact that we've got a heap of system variables, right, within Octopus deployed to control the way that Octopus itself behaves. And thanks, John. So we've got the docs here, and you obviously wouldn't want to, just read through this for some nighttime reading. It is a very long article,
maybe
reference article more so than anything else. But it might be worth just scanning some of the things that are in here, because you don't know what you don't know about some of the ways that you can change the behavior of how Octopus is running. So, variables are definitely a superpower in Octopus, not only for variables that you want to bring into your deployments or runbooks, but a lot of the system ones that we've got here to alter the behavior as well. So,
Yep. Righto. So, thanks for the question. Really appreciate it. Sorry, someone was...
I did not know they were all documented anywhere. It's going to be really helpful even for me. I'm Googling it now.
And we work at Octopus. That's right. No, the IntelliSense works. When you do this in a script editor, the IntelliSense fires off and stuff. That's what I use. I just what is it? It's something dot, and then I just fire up IntelliSense and it just works. So
there
you go. Anyways,
I just found a basic one the other day, which was just the environment name. I just needed to pass it through, and I couldn't for the life of me remember what it was. So I just started typing environment name, and I'm like, "Yep, thank you." There it is.
That's right. ChatGPT, take me away. Oh, I don't want to remember this. It's good for that as well. Anyways, last final thoughts before we wrap up for this week. Charlotte, I know Charlotte and Matt, you're going to be in France. Jim, you're not going to France, are you, for RKO?
No, I didn't get an invite this time.
Wow. Anyways, Matt and Charlotte, anything to wrap up before we get on our flights over yonder?
No, not really.
Look out for the AI Pulse report.
Yes, in a few weeks. And I'm just keen to get stuck into the next bit of research. Yeah, which will be on platform engineering.
That's right. So after we're done our RKO, things just go off like crazy because we're planning webinars. We've got reports. Charlotte's going to be publishing a ton. Matt and I are going to be doing our video stuff, and Jim's going to be coding like a madman. So just stay tuned for that. We're going to be off the air briefly, but we'll be back very, very shortly. Anyways, all right, well, there you go. That's another edition of Deployment Friday. We'll try and do these live, see how it works out. We're just trying a little experiment here, but until next time, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll try and do something from Europe. Who knows? We'll see. But until next time, happy deployments, everyone. Take care.